In today's show on Locked On NBA, I'm going to be chatting with Ed Oliver of Locked On Wizards about the Washington Wizards' surprise start to the 2021-22 NBA season. It's all coming up. Stick around.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another show here at Locked On NBA. My name's Josh Lloyd. I also host the Locked On Fantasy Basketball channel, and I'm the lead analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. We're going to talk Wizards today and their surprising start to the year. Today's show is brought to you by DirecTV. Does this sound familiar? You watch your live sports on one device. You've got your other shows that you watch on another device with another login. You've got your highlights that you watch on your phone, and then you've got your neighbor's login for something else. It's too much. There's too much clutter. There's too much confusion. So I want to tell you about a way that you can get all of that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It is called DirecTV Streaming. It brings all of your favorites, shows, movies, and sports together in one place like never before. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there is no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required, and content varies by package. All right, so let's bring him in now. It is the host of the Locked On Wizards podcast. Ed Oliver is here with me. Ed, the Washington Wizards, they're sitting right at the top of the Eastern Conference at the moment. I don't think too many people would have picked them to be right up the top, and they're doing that without some players that you would have considered big parts of it. Rui Hachimura hasn't played at all this season. So what has been the key to the Wizards' early season success?
It's defense, and Wes Unseld Jr. He's been a lot better than what we were last year. Defensively, we're fourth in defensive rating. Last year, we were ranked 20th. We were dead last in points allowed per game last year, and we've made a huge jump. Montrezl Harrell has been huge for the Washington Wizards. If you look at the MVP candidates on Basketball Reference, he's ranked 6th right now at the moment. He's almost averaging a double-double. He's playing like the 6th man of the year that he was with the Los Angeles Clippers. Bradley Beal hasn't shot the ball well, but just as a team, Kyle Kuzma, all the Lakers guys that we got in the trade have really stepped up, and they've been big parts of big wins. Kyle Kuzma hit a game winner basically a game winner against the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers are a good team. They're a surprise team in the East. We beat them on the road. We beat the Celtics twice. Spencer Dinwiddie has been a good fit. We had Russell Westbrook last year, who was an interesting fit with Bradley Beal, but Spencer Dinwiddie is more of a passing guard, or a guard. He's a guard that doesn't need the basketball in his hands as much as a Russell Westbrook. We just have a collective unit. We have guys coming off the bench like Raul Neto. Denny Avdia is playing really, really, really good defense. The other day we played against Giannis and the Bucks. We beat them, and he stopped Giannis a couple times. So our depth is really, really helping out the Wizards. We've had guys out. Rui Hachimura is not even back yet. Thomas Bryant's not back yet. Davis Bertans is injured right now. So we've had multiple guys in and out of the lineup, and they've still been able to get it done defensively and defend the three-point line. And we score a lot of points in the paint too. Daniel Gafford has been a huge part defensively as well, and finishing around the basket.
So they currently lead the Eastern Conference, sitting 9-3 at the moment. Beal missed the last game. He's going to miss again on Monday after a passing in his family. You mentioned Rui Hachimura, who hasn't played this season. What is the story here with Rui? Because he wasn't a part of the team for training camp, for preseason. He's still not back ready to go for personal reasons. I'm not saying divulge or if you know what the personal reasons are, but do we have any understanding of where he is in his return to the team? I understand he is back around the team in some capacity, but are we looking, is he back in practice? Where is he sitting at the moment?
So he's doing personal workouts. He's in the weight room as well. But he has not, from what I heard, he has not done any 5-on-5 or anything like that. But there was a report from Shams last week saying that he would be doing, physical contact with the guys, with the teammates, and doing 5-on-5 practices in 2 weeks. So, but Wes Unseld Jr. It's been kind of different stories or different timetables. Wes Unseld Jr. said there's still no timetable for his return. But he was saying that he said in a couple of weeks. I heard that on the radio on Friday. So, but yeah, he's out due to personal reasons, personal matters. He had a lot of things going on during the Olympics. He was the guy who held the torch during the Olympics in Japan. So he has a lot of weight on his shoulders. So there's still no definite timetable. There's no date saying that he's going to be back, November 25th or anything like that right now. But he is in the facilities. He is working out, and he's working on his way to return.
Has there been any update on Thomas Bryant?
They said late December. He tore his ACL in December last year, so that's pretty much right on track.
Yeah,
with the ACL recovery.
Yeah, 12-month return for Bryant there. So this team, I said, they're sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference. I don't think even your best case scenario internal predictions wouldn't have had them sitting in the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. So is there an adjustment for internal or external expectations for where this team is? Where, was the general premise around this squad is that, they go to a play-in team again like they were last season? Or are they looking, okay, well, no, we can actually keep this going. We can be a top 4 seed, a top 6 seed, avoid the play-in altogether? Or has it been like, okay, no, we're still sort of that same team, or has that expectation changed?
I think it has changed. I mean, the way they're playing, Bradley Beal, they're winning games with Bradley Beal sitting out. They beat the Magic. I know it's the Magic, but they beat the Magic by about 20 points with them not in there. They beat the Pacers without Bradley Beal. So I think the expectations have changed. And 9-3, we beat some legitimate. We beat the Bucks. We beat the Celtics. The Raptors are a good team. The Cavaliers are a good team. We've beaten some pretty good teams. It's not like we've beaten slouches and Montrezl Harrell if he can keep it up. Just the identity and defense. We're really, really playing defense right now. We're rebounding the ball well. We're doing the little things the right way. Wes Unseld Jr., he's calling plays. Other guys are stepping up. If Bradley Beal has a bad game, Kuzma will step up. If Kuzma has a bad game, Harrell will step up. So we're just a deep team. If injuries happen, we have another guy that can step in. If knock on wood, somebody's hit with COVID, we have other guys that can step in. So I'm thinking you could compare this team really to the Clippers when they had Montrezl Harrell and they had Tobias Harris. They didn't have like 2 or 3 stars where, you look at the top of the league and everybody has 2 superstars or 3 superstars. You look at the Clippers, they won 50 wins a couple of years ago with Doc Rivers, and they didn't have bona fide superstars. You look at the Knicks last year, they were based on their defense. They were the 4th seed in the East. So I would compare us to those kind of teams where, like I said, there's not a lot of superstars, but they play together as a team and they play defense and they lock in and they play hard. And I feel like the Wizards could. They're on track to get 50 wins. I think they could finally. The Wizards haven't got 50 wins in 1979, and I'm starting to get bullish on this team. You look at the schedule right now, starting to ease up a little bit. They play the Pelicans tomorrow night. I'm not going to sleep on the Pelicans, but they're this team, and they're very well coached. I think this team can reach 50 wins. I really think it's possible, and they can be like the Knicks last year, where nobody thought the Knicks were going to be the 4th seed. I think they can be a team like that.
This is a team that currently, according to Clean the Glass, is the 3rd best defense in the NBA, and with their current point differential, which is like a plus 7.9, a pretty good number, that a team that has a point differential of that number is a 55-win squad. Now, 55 wins is obviously really high, but you're right, 50 is not, it's not an out of the question possibility. We are, 10% of the way through, more than 15% of the way through this season, and they're sitting 9-3. You're already 20% of the way to 50 wins with 9 wins already. So it's not a outrageous prediction, I guess, for them to get to 50, or at least be comfortably over 500. And I do agree with you that some of these expectations on this team need to change. Do you think the number one thing, it looks from the numbers, it is all defense. So what has Wes Unseld done as the number one thing to make this defense, for a team that literally 2 years ago was one of the worst defenses you've ever seen? Like, what has he changed to make it this good?
He's getting them to communicate more, and the way we have more guys that can switch. Kyle Kuzma can guard positions 1 through 4, 1 through 5. Gafford is a rim protector, so he's having them defend the pick and roll a lot better. They're switching better, communicating better. They're closing out on threes. Our 3-point defense was awful last year. It's a lot better. We have, I want to say, we're number 1 in 3-point percentage allowed in the NBA. We're rebounding the ball well. We're moving our feet defensively. Denny has made a leap. So I guess whatever he's coaching them up in practice, because our first training camp practice, it was 80% defense, 20% offense, and the players said that throughout all their press conferences. And he's had a guy like Denny step up and play he's leading the team in defensive rating. So he's having guys buy in defensively. He's had Bradley Beal buy in defensively, and that's huge for our best player to play well defensively, because in the last couple of years, Bradley Beal, stat-wise or analytically-wise, Bradley Beal, his numbers weren't good defensively. So he's had Bradley Beal step up. You can see Wes Unseld Jr. cheering Bradley Beal on when he forced a shot clock violation in the Bucks game, guarding I want to say it was Grayson Allen. So he's just getting guys to buy in, and I would say personnel wise, KCP was known as a 3-and-D guy with the Lakers. He's a positive defender, so I would say it's Wes Unseld Jr. definitely is getting the guys to buy in, guarding the pick and roll, guarding the 3-point line, and we're forcing guys to shoot a lot of mid-range jumpers. If you look at the numbers as well, 3-point attempts, we're bottom 5 in the amount of 3-point attempts that teams take against us. So we're forcing guys to shoot mid-range jumpers rather than having them shoot threes and easy layups.
You are right. They are the number 1 team in terms of 3-point defense. Opponents are shooting under 30% from 3 against them, which sometimes can be a sign that maybe this defense is overperforming what your rest of season expectations could be. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the Wizards at the moment, they're one of the best feel-good stories in the NBA as they've rocketed to the top of the Eastern Conference standings. Ed, of course, you'll cover that for us all over on the Locked On Wizards podcast over the coming weeks. And hopefully it is a 50-win season for your guys with the Wizards. So thanks for coming on Locked On NBA with me.
Yep, thanks for having me.